Let's do a throwback clip here. This is Christopher Hitchens discussing the morality of circumcision.
There are things that no morally normal person would think of doing if it wasn't that they believed in religion or in divine instruction. Take a transcendent experience that I'm sure a lot of you have had. I've had 3 times. Hold a newborn baby in your hands. I'm a pretty leathery old cynic. This must be evident to you all. Nonetheless, if you're ever going to feel that a little miracle has occurred in your life, that a free gift has been given by nature, that's probably the moment likeliest to feel it. It also means you absolutely know, by the way, you're going to die at that moment, and that you have to in order to make way. Interesting point. I'm quite resigned to my own death because I know my children don't want me to live forever. And I have to get out of the way. That's just the way it is. And I hereby also highly resolve I want them to be at my funeral. I don't want to be at theirs. Now I know what I'm doing. So here's this bundle. You look at the little indentations in the earlobes that it's so impressed Whittaker Chambers and all that. And then you should be getting on with parenting. But no. First, let's find a sharp stone or a knife and start hacking at the genitalia. Because after it turns out the design isn't that great. And in a crucial feature too. It needs to be sawn away. A lot of it needs to be sawn away. No morally decent person would do this if it wasn't for superstition.
So, I was a guy who was very split on this issue. Now, at risk of giving away too much information, I am circumcised. A lot of guys are circumcised. If you look at any porn, I mean, what is it, 90% of porn, circumcised guys? And anecdotally, polling women, you can make an awesome sex joke out of that, and that wasn't intended. They would say, well, I prefer a guy to be circumcised. But, so I was split on it. Because there actually is a fair amount of science that has been done where they say, obviously, female circumcision is torture. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. But male circumcision, the science is fairly split. There are a lot of studies that say actually it reduces, incidence of HIV and whatever other sexually transmitted diseases. There's a list of a few, and some medical associations have said actually we're in favor of circumcision, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm against it, and I'll tell you why I'm against it. And Hitchens actually put it very well right there. But the thing that was convincing to me is this. When it started, it wasn't like a group of people who were rational and smart or scientific-minded said, I have this theory about how we can decrease the number of sexually transmitted diseases and how we can make people healthier, and the way that we do that is to chop off the tip of your dick. No, the way it started was somebody doing it and having no clue whether it was, is this going to be positive? Is this going to be negative? It was for metaphysical and dogmatic and religious purposes and superstitious purposes. And then later on came the after-the-fact rationalizations and high-minded ways of looking into the statistics and numbers to try to find a way to justify that all of us are cutting off the tips of our fucking dicks, right? And while they have formed a decent argument, that argument still falls short, in my opinion, because it had to start somehow, and it didn't start with smart people recommending it. People did it first, and then after the fact, they went, well, now let's explain why this has to make sense. No, that's rationalizations. I'm not on board with rationalizations. I'm on board with good reasons from the jump. And understand something, man. In these studies, how do you know for sure that it's not just, the people who are in the regions that have uncircumcised penises that are getting more STDs? I mean, it could easily be that. There's not a causation correlation thing going on here, where it's like, no, actually, if you cut off the tip of your dick, then you can get rid of HIV by 17% or whatever it is. And also, the nail in the coffin argument, in my opinion, right, and I just popped in my head one day as I was thinking about it and researching it, I was like, oh, wait. Okay, if you cut off the tip of your dick, it might give you a decrease in some STDs, but if you totally chop off your dick, not just the tip with circumcising, if you totally chop it off, you could decrease all STDs 100%. You'll never get an STD because you don't have a dick. Now, is that a reason to chop off your dick? Because you could use that as an argument, right? A scientific argument. We figured out a way to cure STDs. Chop off your penis. Cures it. Therefore, everybody should chop off their dicks. No, that doesn't make sense. That's not logical. That's not logical. I would prefer to have the dick and have a slight chance of getting an STD, right? By the same token, I kind of wish I had the tip of my dick back, because it really is a barbaric, religious, superstitious practice that parents all over the place are just like, yeah, snip, son, go ahead. It's unbelievable that this still goes on today. When you really stop and think about it, the fact that I was even split on it at one point is like, what the fuck was I thinking? Christopher Hitchens is exactly right. How do you sit there looking at a newborn child? Oh, so beautiful. This is so great. I feel so fulfilled. Anyway, cut off the tip of its penis.